The observation deck of Research Station Omega-7 hummed with the quiet efficiency of a well-oiled machine. Dr. Ilara Quinn stood before the reinforced transparasteel window, watching the creature that had baffled xenobiologists across 3-star systems. The Krath, apex predators from the death world of Vermilion Prime, were supposed to be untamable, unreachable, impossible to study up close, yet there, in the habitat below, a juvenile Krath named Tark pressed his scaled snout against the barrier, searching for her. "Dr. Quinn, the council is requesting your presence," her assistant chirped through the comm. "They want to know why you're refusing the sedation protocols." Ilara didn't turn away from the window. "Tell them I'll be there in 10 minutes. Tark needs his evening routine first." Through the speakers, she could hear the young predator's distressed chittering, a sound that would have sent most species running for emergency airlocks. To Ilara, it was simply a child calling for comfort. She made her way down to the habitat entrance, bypassing 3 security checkpoints. The guards had stopped questioning her months ago, though their hands still hovered near their pulse weapons whenever she entered the enclosure. The door hissed open, and 200 pounds of scaled muscle and razor-sharp claws bounded toward her. "Easy, Tark," Ilara said softly, dropping to one knee as the cub, if something that could disembowel a full-grown Zentari could be called a cub, skidded to a halt before her. His triple-jointed legs folded awkwardly as he settled beside her, massive head nudging against her shoulder. The viewing gallery above had gone silent. Every xenobiologist, security officer, and station administrator watched in disbelief as the human reached out with her bare hand and scratched behind Tark's auditory ridges. The Krath's throat rumbled with a sound that their translators couldn't quite classify, something between a purr and a subharmonic growl. "You're getting bigger," Ilara murmured, running her fingers along the iridescent scales that would one day form impenetrable armor. "Your mother would be proud." Tark's mother, designated specimen K1, had died 3 weeks after giving birth, victim to a genetic defect that the Krath's harsh homeworld normally filtered out through natural selection. Ilara had been the one to find Tark, barely a week old, starving and crying out in distress. Every protocol said to maintain distance, to use drones and mechanical arms for interaction. She had picked him up instead. The council had been furious. The Krath were dangerous, they said. Unpredictable. Their bite could punch through standard combat armor. Their hunting instinct emerged within days of birth. Ilara Quinn was risking not just her own life but the entire station's security. But Ilara had spent 15 years studying predator behavior across 40 worlds. And she knew what the council didn't. Predators weren't mindless killing machines. They were survivors, problem solvers, and, most importantly, they were social creatures who understood the language of care. "Dr. Quinn," the voice came from the habitat entrance. Commander Vexler, the station's Thalorian security chief, stood with his forearms crossed over his chitinous chest. "The council is waiting." 5 more minutes, Ilara replied, not looking up from Tark. The cub had curled around her, his tail, already thick with developing spikes, wrapped protectively around her legs. "With respect, Doctor, you cannot keep delaying this discussion. The galactic community wants to know why a human can walk safely among the most dangerous predator species in known space. The Confederation thinks you're using pheromone manipulation. The Hive Collective suspects neural implants. Everyone wants to replicate your success." Ilara finally looked up at him. "And what do you think, Commander?" Vexlar's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "I think humans are predators too, but somehow you forgot to act like it." She smiled at that. "We didn't forget. We just learned something else along the way." Standing slowly, careful not to disturb Tark, Ilara gestured for the commander to follow her to the observation platform. Below them, 3 more Krath cubs, rescued from various incidents across Vermilion Prime's war-torn territories, played in the enrichment area she had designed. Each one had been deemed unsalvageable by conventional xenobiology standards. Each one had been written off as too dangerous, too traumatized, too wild. "Look at them," Ilara said. "Every species in the Confederation sees weapons, attack patterns, threat assessments. But they're children, Commander, orphans who watch their families die in territory disputes and resource wars. And you see something different? I see what they need." She pressed her hand against the window as Tark bounded over to join the others, his earlier distress forgotten. Every predator species evolved the same basic requirement: parental investment. The more dangerous the environment, the more crucial that early bonding becomes. The Krath aren't attacking me because I'm not treating them like monsters. I'm treating them like what they are. Scared children who lost their parents. Vexillar was quiet for a long moment. The Council believes humans have some genetic advantage, some biological trick that makes you immune to predator aggression. It's not genetic, Ilara said softly. It's cultural. Humans spent thousands of years domesticating the predators on our world, not by dominating them but by understanding them. We learned that trust isn't about strength. It's about consistency, patience, and empathy. She turned to face the commander fully. Every species in the Confederation optimized for survival. You built stronger armor, sharper weapons, better shields. But humans, we optimized for connection. We learned to see ourselves in creatures that could kill us, and we chose compassion anyway. That seems dangerously inefficient. Maybe, Ilara smiled. But it's why Tark won't sleep unless I'm nearby. It's why those 3 cubs down there come running when I call. It's why every predator species we've encountered eventually stops seeing humans as threats or prey, and starts seeing us as something else entirely. What's that? Family, the door chimed. Her assistant's voice crackled through the comm. Dr. Quinn, the Council is threatening to revoke your research license if you don't report immediately. Ilara sighed, watching Tark tackle one of his siblings in a play fight that would have looked like Mortal Kombat to anyone who didn't understand their body language. Tell them I'm on my way. And, Commander, make sure Tark's evening meal includes those protein supplements he likes. He's been growing faster than projected. As she walked toward the council chamber, Ilara heard Tark's distressed, chittering resume. She paused, looking back one last time at the habitat where 4 apex predators, each capable of taking down a confederation, Battlewalker, waited for her return like puppies, missing their mother. The galaxy wanted to know humanity's secret. They wanted formulas, technologies, genetic modifications that could replicate her success. But there was no secret, just an ancient human truth that the stars had somehow forgotten. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is choose to be gentle. And predators, it turned out, never forgot kindness.